Hey guys, Vass here. I have a new wallpaper for you, a new demonstration. This one's pretty cool, probably one of my favorite ones. And in this wallpaper I want to show a feature that I haven't shown before, and that is groups. So in this wallpaper we have 4 groups. If you look at the screen and just split it up visually in 4 equal quarters, those will be our groups. So there's a group in the bottom left with the yellow sprites, and there's a group in the top left with the green sprites, there's a group in the top right with the blue sprites, and there's a group in the bottom right with the pink sprites. Each of the groups has a specific spawn point from which the sprites are coming from, and they're pretty much the corners of the screen. And each group has a different set of slightly different set of effects that are being applied to the sprites. So I've talked about effects before, but just to go over briefly so you have an idea, a clear idea. The sprites, when they spawn, they start out with the scale 0, and then they go up to scale 1. As that happens, the opacity starts to decrease from 100 to 0, causing the sprites to fade, and there's the velocity effect that's being applied at slightly different angles for each group. So for example, one group has 3 sets of values for the velocity, so they go at slightly different angles, but they still go in the same direction, which is the center, where all the sprites converge and cause this, I don't know how to describe it, but it looks pretty cool. It's like a convergence of colors. Anyway, so that's really cool. Also, something that perhaps we will make this available in the release is that the sprites, you can choose to kill sprites when they exit the group, or you can choose to let them live like a god. So in this case, they're living, because the sprites certainly do exit the group bounds, and if I had disabled or enabled the killing rather, then they would just disappear right away instead of fading out. So that's pretty cool. Now there's another feature that perhaps is not the most evident feature here, but I did use it, and I kind of want to talk about it briefly. I'll probably show a little bit more in another demonstration, just so you can see it clearly, but let me just touch up on it. So these sprites, when they spawn, they have an alignment assigned to them. Now alignment, think of it like as an anchor, like a spawn anchor. So for example, when a sprite spawns, other than the location of its spawn, so the spawn point, it also has an anchor where it will spawn. So for example, the bottom left is the anchor, the alignment of the sprite. Now if you set it to say bottom right, then it will spawn a little bit differently. It will spawn a little bit more to the right, because the spawn alignment, the anchor is the bottom right. So just to give you a better example so you can visualize it, for example, let's say you have a spawn point and it's set to the most top right corner of the screen, so where the blue sprites are spawning right now. And since the alignment of each sprite by default is set to bottom left, when your sprite spawns, you will actually not see anything, because it's going to appear off screen, because the anchor, the alignment, is the bottom left, and you want it to appear. So in order to do that, you have to either change the spawn point, but that kind of becomes difficult to calculate. It's a bit of a hassle. It's not exactly difficult, but we want to make things easier for you. So instead, you just change the alignment of the sprite, and you set it to something like top right, and then when you apply these settings, you will see that your sprite spawns perfectly in the top right corner, which is where you want it to spawn. So maybe that paints the picture a little better for you, but I will probably show you another demo that illustrates this a lot more clear. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. It's a very simple wallpaper. There's not too many features, too many new features that are happening here. There's definitely a couple more upper sleeves that we haven't demonstrated yet, but we definitely will. Something else that, like a cool fact I wanted to brag about, and that is that each group is spawning 40 sprites each. So 40 sprites are present on the screen at the same time. So that's 120 sprites at the same time. That's pretty cool. It's working pretty fast. Very impressed with this engine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about this wallpaper. I guess I can't say that tomorrow I'll have a new demo ready, but I'll probably cook something up over the weekend. But either way, just keep checking the forums, and we'll be posting new updates as we go along. The progress is starting to become more and more visual, and we have more stuff to show. So just keep checking back. Otherwise, thanks for your patience and support, guys, and we will stay in touch. Take it easy.